former GB player Nathan Robertson, former silver Olympic medalist. Nathan, now I know you spent a lot of time living in Denmark. Talk us through this one. Obviously these girls play against each other day in, day out. They've only actually played once before. It was Juhl and Pedersen that took the match on that occasion in 2 straight games, 21-17, 24-22. So how do you call this one?
Thank you, Anthony. Well, obviously the players will know each other so well from day-to-day training. The standout pair in this final is C.Pedersen and Juhl. They really are the world-class pair in the draw, and they will be expecting to take this final. But the performance of yesterday, especially L.D.Kruse against the higher-ranked Singapore pair, she played so solidly. So I'm sure that the underdogs M.Roepke and Kruse will be looking to play a really solid defensive game and make C.Pedersen and Juhl work around the entire court and try and make the game as long as possible here.
Well, not the best start from Juhl. The movement was a little bit laboured, but a good tactic. Always get off to a match with a tricky little serve. Well, a powerful smash down the line from Kruse to win the rally, but a very almost slow-paced rally there, Nathan.
I think the slightly lower-ranked Danish pair, Kruse and M.Roepke, they'll be looking to slow the game down. They know how strong and powerful Pedersen and Juhl can be in the ladies' doubles, and I think you'll see long, slower rallies. You can see a 3rd flick serve in a row by L.D.Kruse, certainly trying to keep the dangerous pair of Pedersen and Juhl away from the tape. The lift just goes long from L.D.Kruse, but the early tactic certainly seems to be to play the game long and slow, and I think the longer this game goes on, the more it will suit the lower ranked pair.
Well, we know Pedersen and Juhl to be very good at what is called serve and return a serve. Basically they're looking to try and win the rallies in the first 4 shots, something they've had high effect with throughout their careers. And this had an advantage of being taller.
A little bit more aggressive, get closer to the net, a longer reach. What we saw in yesterday's semi-final, Juhl especially, she does get a lot of free points on the return of serve. So I can already see L.D.Kruse with 3 flicks in a row is going to try and use that and try and keep Juhl away from the net.
Well, it's a real contrast of size on court. 3 very tall ladies, and then L.D.Kruse, the smallest player on court by quite some way, definitely the busiest player on court. Yesterday's match, she was everywhere, diving, not allowing the shuttle to hit the floor, incredibly athletic.
She was, especially in the defensive department, she was covering really well. And I think, if there is any weakness with the taller Juhl and Pedersen partnership, it may be the lateral movement around the whole of the court. But to exploit that, the Kruse and M.Roepke partnership are going to have to defend extremely well and work both of the deep corners throughout the entirety of this match.
Well, a big confusion down the middle from Juhl and Pedersen. Both forehands down the middle as Juhl is left-handed. So 5-2 lead at the start of this match. I was very impressed yesterday with Maria Rotka's defence. Almost looks very straight-legged when she's defending, which is what you're almost taught not to do. But yesterday, her wrist strength was just unbelievable.
Her timing was very impressive yesterday. She seems a little bit swingy sometimes on defence, but it's actually a very effective technique she's got. Do you think there's maybe a little bit of pressure on the huge favourites of Pedersen and Juhl against their teammates? We don't know how the games may go in training, but it's maybe a pair who they struggle with in training. We just don't know.
It's a definite possibility, Nathan. They're leading 7-2 now after just 3 minutes of play, and they're looking very confident. Of course, when you know your opponents and you know exactly what they're going to do, you pick on the weaknesses.
We know when we're playing compatriots, it's sometimes hard to get yourself as fired up as you might do against players from different countries. Sometimes you don't want to be as aggressive against people of your own nation. And certainly Juhl and Pedersen are
retrieving from Juhl.
An aggressive pair.
There's that defence from Roepke. And that goes just long. Great rally. Now this arena, Nathan, is a very big arena. Shuttles float that little bit more. And we know of Camilla Rutte-Juhl as having probably one of, if not the hardest smash in ladies badminton. And those big smashes not seeming to have any penetration so far in this match.
Yeah, the copper box is a big arena. Like you say, when you're playing badminton in these big arenas, they just tend to be a tiny bit slower. The shuttle doesn't come down quite as quick and slows up with the amount of air that's in the arena. So I think the Danes, they will be confident and they'll know the speed. They'll be used to the speed from seeing her in training on a daily basis, so they will know exactly how hard Camilla Rutte-Juhl actually smashes the shuttle.
And that's going wide. Well, a relatively poor start from the more experienced pair. They're fantastically solid. Opening 9 points from Kruse and Roepke. I was a little bit concerned at the start of this game, seeing Maria Roepke's right leg heavily strapped. Clearly a very long match yesterday.
They did have a long match yesterday against the Singapore pair, and she wasn't wearing the strapping yesterday, but she started this game without any movement problems at all, it seems, so it might just be precautionary.
But there's a sign of the power from Pedersen and Juhl, the 1-2 combination. Even though Camilla Rutte-Juhl does possess the bigger smash from the back, that's often the combination they like to be in, with Juhl at the front. Both of these ladies, great mixed players as well. In fact, I think mixed doubles in the past has been their #1 events.
Exactly. I think Camilla Rutte-Juhl, certainly, she's so powerful that her game translates brilliantly to both mixed and men's and both ladies doubles. She is a former world champion in mixed doubles with Thomas Leybourne, so I think that she'd be looking here. Maybe she's with a younger Danish partner now in Mads Pila Kolding. So her top event at the moment is certainly the ladies doubles.
And a rather lazy drop into the net from Roepke. Be interesting to see, Nathan. Yesterday, certain players were struggling from one end of the court. Now, I know in badminton we talk about drifts. There was ever so slightly a drift yesterday, probably only 10 centimetres, but it did seem to make the difference that one pair preferred to play one end rather than the other.
They did. I think in the doubles disciplines, it may be easier to actually play into the drift. We saw in previous matches yesterday, players were struggling hitting with it, making mistakes, flying the shuttle long of the rear court. At the moment, all four players seem to be controlling the game well. The defence at the moment from Kruse and Roepke, a slight fortune on defence there.
And that's going wide. There was examples of that big swinging defence. In fact, there was so much swing on the racket, she mishit it completely for almost a sublime cross-court block.
I think her technique's good on the defence. It's just maybe when the rallies go that extra distance that fatigue comes in, the legs stop moving, and that's when the big swing defence may cause some issues for Maria Roepke that the Juhl and Pedersen partnership can exploit.
This time it goes long from the racket of Juhl. And it is L.D.Kruse and Maria Roepke that head into a 4-point lead at the midway interval in this opening game. Playing for just 8 minutes. Now a very strange situation on court now, Nathan, that there are no coaches involved in this match whatsoever.
No, the Danish squad will have come with their national coaches, so they'll be absolutely delighted that they've got 2 of the pairs into the final, but there won't be any coaching for either of these pairs. So they're out there on their own. Unusual situation, doesn't happen many times that you play your compatriots in international tournaments. But you can see both pairs communicating well with each other. Certainly Roepke and Kruse will be the happier the pairs. And it'll be up to Pedersen and Juhl to come up with a slightly different game plan to change the momentum now for the second part of this first game.
Now, do you think that plays into the hands of the more experienced players, or is it just a certain type of player that can think on their feet?
A little bit, I think. I mean, all 4 players here are experienced. We haven't got any extremely young players, so they've all got experience of dealing with situations, not having coaches with them.
Well, you could see what Kruse was trying to do. She read the game very well, and there's the advantage of being slightly smaller. She had to reach extremely high, and it came off the top of the racket. What a rather wild smash into the net from Juhl. You do know she's capable of hitting the magnificent winners, but also in danger of making quite a lot of mistakes because of such a big swing.
I think we've seen early on in this game a lot of flick serves in the first half of the game. L.D.Kruse has been flicking Camilla Juhl every single time at the moment, and she just sticks in a short serve to prove me completely wrong. Do have to vary the serve though, or players can read and move just a touch early and get in position.
Good placement on the smash this time from Juhl. Aimed at the right hip of her opponent. Very difficult to defend those smashes. 9-12. Like you say, Nathan, lots of high flick serving so they can maintain the attack, and that is why so many flick serves have been coming in, I think.
We saw that yesterday with Maria Roepke. She's aggressive on the returns and just leapt straight from the spot onto the return there and pushed it straight down the backhand side of Camilla Juhl for a clean winner.
What placement on the cross block from C.Pedersen, right onto the line.
10-13.
She saw the gap, just pushed it over. Really simple technique, not using a big swing. Really short technique, pushing it into the gap for the winner. And same again there.
Oh. You could see Maria Roepke waiting on the cross. C.Pedersen gifting it straight to the racket.
A little smile there by Maria Roepke. She was standing in exactly the right position. C.Pedersen just pushing it hard directly on the racket for the easy interception.
Something that the Danish players in general are very good at when the shuttles are coming through them.
They do read the game normally very well. Like I say, they're strong mixed doubles players, the Danish ladies, and they're always trying to anticipate and move off the central part wide, so they're covering and being really dangerous on one side of the court. They know their partners can cover around the other side. Just like in that situation, Maria Roepke, dangerous on the forehand side, the shuttle comes and it's a winner. If it goes to the backhand side, she knows her partner's going to cover her. Fantastic smash down the line by L.D.Kruse, and C.Pedersen, Camilla Juhl finding it difficult to get through the defence of Roepke and Kruse. Anthony, do you see any tactics they could use at the moment, because they don't seem to know who to channel their attack on?
Well, the variation has to come into the game. A lot of hard smashes been put in so far. You know, 2 tall ladies in Pedersen and Juhl. What we saw yesterday when they really got into the flow of their match was the pace being taken off, angles down to the centre. gets your opponents to come forwards, and then the big smashes have more impact. But I think whilst M.Roepke and Kruse are sitting back and just defending comfortably, there is no way through at the moment. And that shuttle goes long as well. Camilla Rytter-Juhl has hit several long of the back line. Wondering whether the drift, or the wind should I say, is moving that way today.
And that mistake, a miss hit by Camilla Rytter-Juhl. And the favourites here in the final don't seem to have any answers for the strong play in the first game by Roepke and Kruse. 7 points the difference now. This first game looks like it's slipping away from the top seeds.
That's better movement and timing from Juhl. The defence a little bit too late on the shuttle. We still have a 6-point gap. Now Nathan, with this type of scoring, is there any way back from a 7-point deficit?
Well, in doubles at the top level it's very, very difficult because of how aggressive the returning is. In the singles we saw 5, 6, 7-point runs in the semi-finals, but in the doubles it's so difficult to get a long run. So 7 points, I'd say the chances of coming back are very slim from this position, and I think the top seeds know that. May even be thinking about the second game already as another shot from Camilla Rytter-Juhl drifts long.
Well, that brings up game point, and 8 game points they have. And I don't think it's going to take too many to close this one out. And that is straight out the back. Camilla Rytter-Juhl really struggling to find top form in this opening game. And it is the unseeded L.D.Kruse and M.Roepke that take the opening game in 15 minutes. 21-12. Well, I don't think anyone expected that one, Nathan.
Absolutely, Anthony. It's difficult to, we saw a quite dominating performance by C.Pedersen, Camilla Rytter-Juhl in the semi-final. But as we were talking about teammates who train every day, sometimes it's not always the higher ranked pair who have the success in training. Sometimes the styles, they don't match up well. And looking after the first game, the lower ranked pair of Roepke and Kruse just seem to have all the answers in the first game. You've got to expect that Pedersen and Juhl can up their game and see them discussing tactics, trying to figure out what was going wrong in the first game, and they'll want to change that immediately for the start of the second game.
Well, one thing we're used to seeing from Camilla Rytter-Juhl is getting very fired up, very animated in her reactions. Okay, they've not been winning the points, but we normally see some kind of emotion. Is that just due to the fact that they're playing their own teammates? Too much respect for one another?
Potentially. It is difficult when you play fellow teammates. These girls, there's a high chance some of them are friends on and off court, but I think we may see Camilla Rytter-Juhl start to fire up a little bit in the second game here. She is a player who lives off confidence and thrives when the going gets tough, and she can get herself fired up. I think we'll see that here because Roepke and Kruse, they were fired up in the first set. We saw high fives, fist pumps, and I think that the top seeded higher ranked pair are going to have to match them on that level.
Well, you're definitely right, Nathan. They really do need to get going, because if they continue on this kind of form, this is going to run away from them very quickly.
We'll see if Camilla Rytter-Juhl can control the pace. She struggled a little bit with the pace, hitting long at the back line in the first game. There may be a little bit of drift, so Rytter-Juhl and Pedersen may now be hitting into a bit of drift, which may be easy for them to control the shuttle on the back line.
There's that returning of serve from M.Roepke. Like you say, Nathan, a very positive push forwards.
She has, yeah. She doesn't take any steps forward, she just jumps off the spot forward, fully committed, wanting to end the rally early within the first 2 or 3 shots.
Once again, the flick serve. Rytter-Juhl ready for that one. A bit of a high five after the rally. Very interesting tactic from Kruse and Roepke. They've completely taken the net out of the game.
I did say at the start of the first game that I thought Roepke and Kruse would need to use the rear court, the rear corners a lot to beat this world-class pair, world rank number 3, Pedersen and Juhl. They have started so strong on defence in the first game, but Pedersen and Juhl started the second stronger and lead 3-1.
Collision in the middle, and they got away with it. That could have been nasty. Both players going for that one. Usually the case that the player that's on the forehand side will take the shuttle down the middle. Certainly on the attack. Signs of Pedersen and Juhl pulling this one back. An error from Maria Roepke. Seen a few fly long and wide already in this game. Clearly there is a difference in ends, and it is a case of who can control those conditions. And that's good from Juhl. Active in the forecourt, something we've not seen so far. Open up their first 3-point lead.
Much better play by the top seeds. We have to expect that they come with a better game here in the second after a disappointing first. They're probably one of the best pairs Europe has produced in this ladies doubles event for many, many years. Really strong, able to compete against the very best pairs, beat the Chinese. They're world medalists, so they're used to these big occasions, and they'd be expecting to win this title here in London today.
And a rather poor low serve from Maria Roepke. It got what it deserved. Punished by Juhl. 6-3. I think the smash was going wide from Kruse. Juhl having a look to see whether she thought it might have done.
We're seeing a lot of return winners, Anthony, and I think that's because they are training partners and they can tell what serve's coming, whether it be a flick or a short serve, and they can see the actions and they're used to it, so it's not as deceptive. When you see it every day in training, it's not as deceptive as playing people who you might only play 2 or 3 times a year.
Oh, good placement and power from Juhl. That's the kind of power that we saw yesterday. Now, if you're playing against an opponent who can read your serve, Nathan, is there anything that you can do to stop that happening?
Well, it's difficult. Like you say, it's a huge advantage if you can see a split second earlier that someone's going to flick or short serve. You can jump in or jump back earlier. It gives you such a big advantage to get on that serve and get the attack and get it going down straight away. I'm not sure what you can do to change it. These girls will know each other so well that any tricky serves got the chance of making easy mistakes on the serve, so they'll want to stay steady.
Well, we've seen a lot of low serves punished. Is that because they're always serving to the same area? Haven't seen any wide serves as yet.
Which is quite surprising. The Danes are normally really one of the strongest nations at being clever with their serves. I know that they very rarely serve to the same place twice. They always like to vary it. The game started off with a lot of flick serves, but now I can see a little bit of variation happening. That shuttle just drifting along of the back line.
Yeah, both pairs struggling from this end of the court that Kruse and Roepke are at now. And it's a 9-5 lead. 22 minutes been played so far. Oh, brilliant play. 1-2 combination, Juhl at the back. Pedersen with a very good spinning net shot. Set up a 5-point lead.
They're really starting to find their feet here in the final now. The confidence is coming back into their game. They're looking to stamp their authority on Roepke and Kruse.
And a rather weak defensive shot from Pedersen. Didn't get her feet in the right position. This time it's Roepke that doesn't get her feet in the right places. Mishits the defence. And Juhl and Pedersen go into the midway break. 5-point advantage, 11-6. What a turnaround, Nathan.
Indeed, we expected them to come with a slightly better quality in this second game. They really weren't up to their normal standard in the first game. Maybe it was a little bit of the case. Playing compatriots, I'm sure they're not going to be as nervous as Roepke and Kruse. They've played in major finals. Roepke and Kruse just seem to be more free in that first game, but a more solid start to the second. And Pedersen and Juhl seem to be in control at the moment.
Now players just waiting for the allotted time between the halfway point. And that's very short. It hasn't quite gone over. Consistent attacking from Pedersen, but each one of the lifts from Roepke was getting shorter and shorter. And the switch attack onto Kruse's right hip.
A more powerful pair now starting to dominate the attacking game. And certainly if you allow Pedersen and Juhl the attack the majority of the time, I think the result is only going to go negatively for Roepke and Kruse. This time they managed to get on the attack. L.D.Kruse from the back, setting up Maria Roepke. She had a lot of success in the semi-final against the Singapore pair. She's got a big swing at the net, but she does read the game quite well, and she got over there to put it away.
Good anticipation at the net from Roepke. Always tends to choose one side, Nathan, like you said earlier. Take one side, let your partner cover the other side. You know, don't try and cover too much. She just tends to be in the right place at the right time.
Well, when you're playing a flat style of badminton and you're at the net, there's not many players who will want to push straight back through the middle of the court. So a lot of the players are always trying to use either of the tram lines, and you've got to be able to cover one side, or you'll end up with one player behind the other in the central positions, and that's not actually the most effective attacking position. So you need to be covering both sides dangerously. This time it's Camilla Rytter-Juhl stepping over, anticipating on the backhand side. You can see her getting fired up now, leading by 6 points.
14-8.
Well, the way it's going, it looks like we could be going to a third game. 6-point lead.
And a great smash cross court by L.D.Kruse. Christina Pedersen a little deep on defence, had to lean forward, was a little wide on her stance, and pulled the shuttle down, stretching too far. The top seeds won't want to let this lead go in this second game, or they could get a little bit edgy if the scores get any closer, knowing that Kruse and Roepke only need one more game to take the title.
And a wild cross-court whip shot from Juhl. She didn't move her feet, tried to do it all with wrist power. And you don't get the forward momentum on the defence. Drag it wide. The lead's cut to 4.
A lot of communication by Pedersen and Juhl here, trying to organise themselves before the rally starts. And that's exactly what they're talking about. Christina Pedersen pushing it hard down the forehand side, and Camilla Rytter-Juhl just stepping forward on her forehand side. And that is something they would have planned before the rally even started.
So like having a set play then, Nathan. I mean, how many set plays would you generally have?
Well, you'll see the girls before every single rally. They'll talk about what their serving's going to be, what they're looking for, and that was a perfect example of one player playing to an area so their partner could step in on their most dangerous side, which was Camilla Rytter-Juhl on her forehand, and kill the shuttle.
Wonderful defence from Roepke. I thought she'd got herself in trouble, but that's the wrist strength. The angle was a good one from Pedersen. Roepke finding the back line.
And Roepke and Kruse still fighting hard in this game. We thought it was slipping away from them, but they're managing to maintain this lead, and if they can get a little bit closer, this second game may go to the wire. But a huge smash. Camilla Rittiol read the flick serve by Maria Roepke, giving Lina Kruse no chance to react on defence. Camilla Rittiol putting down another huge smash into the right hip of Lina Kruse.
Well, the returning of serve has been very impressive from all four players. You can understand that the high flick serve coming in.
I think Lina Kruse has flicked Christina Pedersen the last 4 or 5 times. And there's another one deep into the forehand corner, straight onto defence. And this time she manages to change it, defence to attack instantly. But Christina Pedersen doesn't quite have the power of Camilla Juhl in the back of the court. Can't get back to those flick serves with as much power as a partner, and gives Lina Kruse the opportunity for a quick point to reduce the deficit to 3.
Well, that was incredible from Roepke. I thought, first of all, it was a fault receiver from Rittiol. Definite twitch before the service had started. The wrist power again over the top from Roepke. 14-16 now, only 2 points difference.
Are we going to see the flick serve again? This time it's short by Lina Kruse.
Rather laboured movement from Pedersen. Didn't quite get a foot to the shuttle.
And I think it's the pressure coming from Kruse and Roepke. They're playing so solidly on defence, forcing the top seeds longer in the rallies than they really want to go. And now with the lead of just 1, they're putting the pressure on the top seeds here.
Now, interesting there, Nathan. Camilla Rittiol took a little step backwards, almost enticing her opponent to go with the low serve.
Yeah, well, it can be a tactic. I think Camilla Rittiol would want low serve. She is aggressive. She has the change of direction as well. So they're just trying different things. This time a good serve by Camilla Rittiol to the backhand of Lina Kruse, just serving across the body, making her pull the shuttle wide. And an easy 2 points. Got a little bit of a gap again here in the second game.
Brilliant from Pedersen. Took the shuttle very early, a disguised flick across court. Both their opponents sent in the wrong direction.
It's a great shot. Unfortunately, Maria Roepke intercepted the first one, but then her racket dropped and she couldn't help her partner. She needed to be covering the cross push.
Brilliant from Juhl. The inside out defence shot to start with, and then very aggressive forwards.
20 game points.
And that gives them 5 game points.
You can see the importance of this game to Juhl and Pedersen. A few smiles now by Christina Pedersen. I think she's relieved that they didn't let Roepke and Kruse back level in this game, and they've managed to get themselves 5 game points.
Well, that's how to play the cross-court block. Wonderful placement. She took the shuttle so early on the forehand, anticipating the smash.
And that shot is always on, but it doesn't mean it's easy to play. It's a difficult execution of a soft cross-court block off a smash. The gap is nearly always there, but the execution of that is a tough shot to make. L.D.Kruse this time, using the power down at Christina Pedersen's feet, trying to keep this game alive. 2015 looked a long way to go, but they've got it back to 2017 now. Oh, and the power by Camilla Rytter-Juhl. The three-pronged attack, following it forward for the big winner at the net.
She apologises to her opponent for hitting the shuttle at the legs of L.D.Kruse. That gives them the game 21-17. We'll now be playing for 34 minutes. And like I said at the start of the match, it's that far end, the favourable end in this tournament.
Well, I think Kruse and Roepke started the game the more free pair, started in the first, the more freer of the pairs. Maybe Pedersen and Juhl were just a little bit edgy, knowing they were playing their compatriots, but they just seem to have played their way into the match, using their power now, the power game, to get the upper hand on their opponents. Would expect that they'll want to continue in the same vein at the start of the third game here. I'm not sure exactly what Roepke and Kruse can bring to change the tide at the moment, but they're not far away. They were close in the second game, so if they can just hang in there, might just have a chance here in the third game.
Well, the difference for me, Nathan, is Camilla Rytter-Juhl has stepped up her play. She was miss-hitting shots in the opening game, overhead, which is very rare for such a world-class player. But now her movement forward has become very aggressive.
She is a very aggressive player, and she does hit an incredible amount of winners for a female player at ladies doubles, but she needs consistency. Roepke and Kruse defended very well in the first, maybe frustrating Camilla Rytter-Juhl, which meant she was maybe swinging a little too much and missing a few overhead shots. But she settled down in that second, really aggressive returning. Christina Pedersen not quite as aggressive on returns, not able to get back and hit the clear winners. But it's Pedersen to start us off in the third game.
And a good tactic against Maria Roepke with the flick serve. She's been so good on the low ones. Keep her away from that net at all costs. So again, the flick serve. Oh, through the legs defence. And the look of the net cord, L.D.Kruse apologising to her teammates.
And smiles all round by the Danish ladies on court. An amazingly skilled shot by Camilla Rytter-Juhl. L.D.Kruse doesn't give them any chance with a little push onto the net cord.
You know, Rytter-Juhl must be gutted. Normally when you win a rally with a through the leg shot, gives you that confidence for your teammate to then get a net cord.
Yesterday we talked, when we had an all-Danish men's singles semi-final, about it's not only about the victory here in London and the ranking points, but also about the bragging rights every day in training. So we know how much confidence it can give a pair when you beat your compatriots, especially in a big final like this, when these players go back to training on Monday or Tuesday, knowing that they've beat their opponents in a big tournament here, will give them bragging rights until the next time they play each other.
Well, I know we've both been out to the training environment in Denmark, and they are very, very competitive matches just in the training environment. They hate losing to one another.
They do. They really are the most competitive environment of training I've ever played in. Spent a lot of time in the National Centre in Denmark playing against those players many years ago, and they really do hate losing. It's almost like they're playing a tournament every day in training. That's the sort of intensity. Great shot over the head of Camilla Rytter-Juhl, and Christina Pedersen breaks her string when she was fired it into the back of Camilla Rytter-Juhl. I'm not sure her partner will appreciate that.
Like you say though, Nathan, it was the shot over the top. We've talked about that in ladies and men's doubles so many times, and that must have come keen
Unfortunately for Camilla Rutte-Juhl, I think Christina Pedersen just mishit that shot, because being hit by a shuttle from about 2 metres away can be quite painful, but I think it just mishit and came off the top of the racket.
Now, we saw the racket in the box and every string had been cut out. Now, these ladies are stringing their rackets so tight nowadays. What would be attention for a world-class ladies doubles player?
I think all 4 of the Danish players on court certainly will be 32 pounds plus on their tensions, and you can hear the tight strings on almost every shot, especially defence and attack.
But also very thin strings as well.
They are very thin nowadays, made of all different compositions. And like you say, players, if they string really tight, up to 35 pounds on the racket, they could break 5 or 6 strings in a match. So they have a lot of rackets in their racket bags, and you can see a lot of them actually lying on top of their racket bags in case they have to jump off the court quickly and change a racket mid-point, which can happen.
Great anticipation from Juhl. There's the aggressive play. I just get the feeling, Nathan, that if Juhl and Pedersen are there or thereabouts at the midway, they're going to be the ones at the more favourable end at the end of this match.
They will be, and they do have the experience, and they are, you know, they are a better pair than Roepke and Kruse. The rankings say that, and this is a title they will be certainly expecting to take.
Great placement from Maria Roepke. Rutte-Juhl wasn't expecting the cross-court smash. She did her best to try and get her wrist around the shot, driving it into the net. Nicely poised, 4-all in the third game. 40 minutes on court. Oh, and that's a wild smash. No angle on the shot at all. Not really in position to hit that one quite as hard as she did.
Can the top seeds create a gap here for themselves? Important part of the game, start of the third. Neither of the pairs really got momentum at the moment, and that one's landed in by Maria Roepke, drawing the scores level. A little bit of a cagey start to this third game. Neither pair able to get more than 1 or 2 points in a row to create a lead. And Camilla Rutte-Juhl, the shuttle never comes back when she's smashing from the front line. It's got such a big smash, no chance at all for Maria Roepke there on defence. Uses a lot of wrist power, Camilla Rutte-Juhl, when she's smashing. And again, Camilla Rutte-Juhl stepping in on the forehand side, dominating the last couple of points on attack.
7-5.
She's starting to take control of the game again, just like she did in the second game, opening up a slight advantage for the favourites.
The shuttle goes well long with the drift. Doesn't need to be much extra on the shuttle. 10 centimetres.
No, and we saw that in the first game by Camilla Rutte-Juhl, pushing it long on the side she's on currently.
Great return of serve from Juhl. Kruse makes a rare mistake on defence. Gives Pedersen and Juhl a 2-point lead.
I think she just had a bit of uncertainty there, wasn't sure whether to take it on the forehand or backhand side. Eventually trying to hit a backhand defence, probably when a forehand, it was more over on a forehand side. Uncertainty created a little bit of hesitation and the mistake.
Wow, what a smash.
What an angle by Camilla Rytter-Juhl. That one clipped the tape, but it was so far away from Roepke and Kruse that they had no chance anyway. She's been so effective with that forehand smash now for the last 3 or 4 points.
She's the only lady in the game, in ladies doubles, that can play that kind of smash.
I think so. There is one of the Chinese ladies, I think one of the world number ones, also has a huge smash, but Camilla Rytter-Juhl is well known. She certainly has the steepest smash out of all the girls on tour. I'm not sure exactly how tall she is, but she must be close to 6 foot or just over, which is so effective on the attacking shots.
Now a rare break in the middle of play, down to the discretion of the umpire whether or not the players are allowed to leave the court. Quite often a lot of perspiration on the face and the grip, and obviously hydration or even dehydration can play a big factor in a match.
Yeah, the players will want to keep drinking. So you get one break every 11 points, but sometimes after a lot of consecutive long rallies it is important to rehydrate.
Short lift from Juhl. Oh, but not punished from M.Roepke. We saw her a lot more aggressive forwards yesterday. Just not following up the first push.
I think she knows, you can see the frustration. Would have been close the gap to just 1, but now the lead's back to 3. Pedersen and Juhl looking to get to the mid-game interval with a healthy advantage. And another mistake by M.Roepke, just not moving her feet at the net. And a 4-point advantage now at the mid-game interval. The top seeds looking like they're on the way to the London title here.
Well, they've now moved around to the better end of the hall. A great start for them in this decider. They must be feeling very confident, knowing they've got the better end. It sounds very strange that you can have a better end in such a wonderful arena, but that drift of only 10 centimetres means that from one end you are hitting into a wind, and therefore no danger of the shuttles going out the back of the court, and that is the case for Christina Pedersen, Camilla Rytter-Juhl.
And they look very comfortable in the changeover, look confident, like they believed they were back on track and heading for the title. Roepke and Kruse, I think they would have been happy with a 1 or 2 point difference, but at the moment it's just creeping out again, and if it gets any bigger I think it's going to be a long road back.
Oh, good defence from Pedersen. Great low stance, got down well to the shuttle.
It was great defence, but I think if Lena Kruse looks here, Christina Pedersen almost in the back tram lines. If she was able to stop the shuttle in front of her, she would have had no chance at all, but ended up pushing the shuttle long on the quicker side.
Well, another defensive mistake from Roepke. Nothing that Pedersen and Juhl that are doing that is outstanding at this point in time, just not making mistakes, consistent play.
They are playing a solid game. Camilla Rytter-Juhl had a spell hitting a few winners, and now Roepke and Kruse, the mistakes are creeping into the game as the confidence drains out of them as the lead starts to be extended, but that one lands just inside the line. Keep themselves in the game, they need to push here before Juhl and Pedersen get too much of a lead towards the end of this deciding game.
Well, it is in fact a 5-point lead, Nathan. 13-8. And that is a long way to come back when your opponents are playing as well as they are.
And a great smash down the middle by C.Pedersen, taking the pace off a little bit. Knows that Roepke and Kruse have been struggling a little bit on defence, and putting it down the middle creates a little bit of uncertainty as well. Both of them hesitate and end up L.D.Kruse actually air-shotting and missing it, giving an easy point again. There doesn't seem any way back for Roepke and Kruse at the moment.
Got a slight reprieve. This time Pedersen goes wide on defence. The difference between Roepke and Kruse's defence from the opening game, they were so solid, they were active, their feet were moving. What a transformation.
And the big swing by M.Roepke again, just legs planted at the net. Big swing round the head, shuttle just clipping the frame. And a huge shout of frustration there by Roepke. She knows she should have been moving a little bit earlier to try and anticipate that. Giving away too many free mistakes now for Juhl and Pedersen. They're too high quality to give them these easy points.
Oh, wonderful retrieval from Kruse. A bit of luck with the net cord. Juhl was so aggressive coming forwards. Roepke and Kruse need a little bit of luck to get themselves back in the game.
And it's that type of point that can just give you a little bit of a boost. I think they needed it at that stage. Looking all dominant, Pedersen and Juhl. A little net cord scrambling point by L.D.Kruse has got them back, but that is an absolutely huge smash by Juhl. No chance at all. Even if M.Roepke was standing down the line, it was so strong, I don't think she would have been able to get a racket on it.
Well, I think that one, Nathan, would have rivaled some of the hardest smashes in the men's game.
A speed gun, I think, would have said that that's probably faster than any tennis serves you're likely to see at Wimbledon. Juhl sending down bombs here in the ladies' doubles final.
Good anticipation again from Juhl. M.Roepke struggling to get the legs working. Now, I mentioned the strapping on the thigh from M.Roepke. She was definitely more active in her movement yesterday. Whether that tightness in the right leg is making her stay static.
Well, I think it's just the pressure coming from Pedersen and Juhl which is causing the mistakes. Another mistake out the side. L.D.Kruse just pushing the defensive shot wide.
18-10.
A great block by M.Roepke, taking the pace off the smash by C.Pedersen into the gap. She's done that twice in this match. Maybe needed to do it a little bit more near the end to change the pace on the defence. Found in the gap in the short. But it's now or never for Roepke or Kruse. 7-point deficit. So difficult in doubles to come back when the points have slipped away.
Well, 52 minutes been played. Good power once again from Juhl. Big swinging smashes. First of all at Roepke, then cross to Kruse. It's an impressive power display from Juhl.
I think Roepke and Kruse were moving really well, defending well in the first game, but the consistent power by Camilla Rytter-Juhl and the movement around each other has paid dividends, and now they're closing in, just 2 points away from the title.
And that's it was going wide. Juhl decided to play it. Oh, and a bit of luck from Kruse. The string had broken. A very fortunate kill at the net in the end. Very difficult to play any shot with a broken string.
Oh, she was just stretching on full stretch on the forehand side. Not sure if she broke it on that final shot or the previous shot, but able to get the net cord. She's had 2 slightly fortuitous net cords in this third game. I think they're going to need a dip in form though from Juhl and Pedersen to have any chance here. They're going to need them to relax with this lead. Oh, I can't see any way back for Roepke and Kruse in this third game. Great serve by Lena Kruse, creating a nice cheap point for the lower ranked pair, getting them a point closer, just trying to eat into that lead. They really need to stop Pedersen and Juhl getting to 20. I think this match can only go one way then.
Oh, that gives them another point. 14-19 now. Still a 5-point gap, with Juhl and Pedersen only requiring 2 for the championship. I fear it's only a matter of time.
And this time an early return. That's just what they would have been hoping for. You can see the relief Christina Pedersen's face, smiling, as that net cord just dropped on the right side for Pedersen and Juhl to send them to match point. And they've got the attack. Pedersen and Juhl looking to finish it here.
But it's gone long. A bit of a flat smash from Pedersen. The placement down the middle was correct. We still have 5 more match points. Here's the chance. Wow, big power. Straight through Maria Roepke's defence. Fantastic performance from the top seeds. The number 3 pair in the world, showing why they are up there at that kind of level. Both players in eventual score 21-12, 21-17, 21-15.